Hi everyone, my name is Amber, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a book unhaul. So I've just recorded a really long true crime and books video and hopefully that one's already up by the time you're watching this. If it is, I will link it up above. Please go and watch it because it has drained me. I'm so drained. I would just really like some really nice comments on that video to make me feel better. So I thought I would do a book unhaul because it's nice and easy. I can just show you the books, talk about why I'm unhauling them, and we can go from there. So I have this massive pile here behind me that you can't exactly see, but I would say there are about 20 books there, so let's get started. Oh, we're a bit bright all of a sudden. Okay, so the first book here is Horror Store by Grady Hendrix. I was actually a little bit hesitant to unhaul this one because it did cost me £12. It's quite expensive, but I don't think I'm ever going to read it again. And my thing for unhauling is that I keep this shelf here of read books, which are mostly my favourites or books that I want to reread soon in the future, or just like at any point really. And I don't think I'm going to reread this one, so it doesn't make sense to keep hold of it. I got this last year for the kind of horror spooky season, and I didn't really feel the need to pick it up this year like I did with other books. So I'm unhauling this, unfortunately. Very expensive, so makes me feel a bit ill, but it's fine. Next, I'm going to unhaul the first two books in the Poppy War trilogy. Please don't unsubscribe. We have the Poppy War, obviously, and the Dragon Republic. I don't actually own the Burning God because I didn't like it. I gave that 2 stars, I think, 2.5 stars. It wasn't a good ending to the trilogy. And so because I'm not going to finish off the trilogy on my shelf for display reasons, and I'm also not going to reread it, I'm going to unhaul these books because they don't need to stay here. It's an incomplete trilogy on my shelf. It seems a bit silly to keep it, and I don't want to reread them. I don't want to keep thinking about the Burning God either when I see these books because it was just such a bad series ender. I have reviewed it on my channel. If you're interested, I will leave a link somewhere, or you could just search my channel and you'll find it. So yeah, I enjoyed these first two. I gave both of them 5 stars, and then the Burning God got 2. So I won't be holding on to this trilogy. I'm trying to grab them, my chair is spinning. Next, I'm going to unhaul the Tattooist of Auschwitz. I'm sorry that this light is so bright. This is a historical fiction novel. It's based apparently on a true story of Lala Sokolov, who was a tattooist at Auschwitz, and he tattooed the numbers on people's prisoners' wrists. I don't want to reread this one. I have since read various accounts that say that this one is in some parts just fictionalized, which is, it's fine because a lot, particularly World War II fiction, does that, and I don't really have a massive problem with it. It's just not one that I really want to reread. It just says based on a true story. It doesn't say it's an entirely true account. It's just not one that I really want to reread, and I don't really love World War II fiction anyway, so yeah, I don't really see the point in keeping it on my shelf, especially because someone else might enjoy this if they pick it up. Next, we have Surrounded by Idiots. I picked this one up this year and I started reading it and just didn't love it, so I'm going to take this to work with me and put it on my bookshelf, the one behind me at work. Someone can pick it up if they want it, because I'm planning on doing kind of a shelf with a load of non-fiction books, just so that it shows up behind me in meetings. To be honest, that is like my sole reason. So I'm going to put this one on there, and then if one of my co-workers wants to take it, then they can. Then we have a fairly new book, and that is Ace of Spades. I did enjoy this one. I gave it 4 stars. I read it in September, I think, and I really liked it. I've spoken about it in a wrap-up. I can't remember which one if you want to go and check out more of my thoughts, but I don't see the point in holding on to it because it's a thriller book. I'm not going to reread it because I don't tend to reread thrillers unless they're my absolute favourites, and I already know the outcome of it. So yeah, I'm going to unhaul it. I'm going to possibly put it in my little free library if we get it built in time, because I really want a little free library. I've spoken about this before, I think in my last unhaul, but my front garden kind of joins on to a sort of public walkway, and so I think it would be a really good idea to have a little free bookshelf, especially for people who are walking to school, because a lot of students walk past and they can pick up some books and take them and read them and hopefully love them. So that's my dream. I'm probably going to save this book to go in there because it's a good one. Next we have The Mothers by Britt Bennett. This is the author of The Vanishing Half, which I loved. So I picked this one up when I was on holiday, I think, and read it really quickly. I enjoyed it, gave it 3 stars. So again, not a favourite, not one that I particularly want to reread or hold on to, so I'm unhauling it. An Ember in the Ashes. So this one is actually one that I bought, last year. I bought it last year. I bought the second and third books as well because I wanted to reread this one and then actually continue on with the series, because this came out and it was huge on BookTube back in the day, and I just didn't carry on with the series. I think there were massive gaps for some reason. I can't really remember why. I think the author took a while to finish off the series, and I liked it. I gave it 3 stars, whereas I gave it 4 stars before, so it's not one that I want to reread at all. Again, this might be a good one for the little free library that goes in my garden, because I think it's a good one for teens, and I will be continuing on with the trilogy, no, the series. It's not a series that's going to be my all-time favourite, I don't think. At least that's what I'm predicting. Maybe I should hang on to it until I've read the sequels, just in case. Maybe I will love it. Yeah, maybe I won't unhaul this one. I'll have to think about that. Next, we have 2 books by Tiffany D Jackson. I did a reading project on all of her books recently, and it should be up by now, so I'll leave that linked up above. I read all of her books and I decided which one I thought was best, and these are the 2 that I actually owned. One of which I'm considering not unhauling, but I think, yeah, they're not ones I'm going to reread. So Monday's Not Coming, I gave this one 3 stars. It was good, but I struggled with the young narrator. So again, I think this will be a good one for teens to read, especially older teens maybe, because it's a bit dark, because they'll feel a bit more connected to the younger narrator, I imagine. And then Allegedly was one of her best books. I gave this one 4 stars and I loved it, but it's not one, again, that I want to reread, and it's not an all-time favourite, so I didn't want to keep it on my shelf. Although again, now that I'm talking about it, I am perhaps reconsidering, but I probably shouldn't do that because that will end up happening with all of my books. If you're going to check out any Tiffany D Jackson book, I would recommend starting with Allegedly because it sets the tone for all of her books and it's excellent. Next we have My Friend Dharma, which is a graphic novel that I really didn't like. I gave this one 2 stars. I didn't really see the point of it. I don't like that the author is kind of capitalising off someone he knew in school, and then he barely knew Jeffrey Dahmer, to be honest. So yeah, it just seems a bit weird, and I also didn't like the art style. This kind of like bubbly, I don't really know what to describe it as, but I'm really not a fan of that kind of art style, so I'm getting rid of this one. I was given this one by Justine actually, so I don't think she liked it either, which is why I then inherited it. Then we have Wall by Hugh Howey. This one is the first in his Wall trilogy, Silo trilogy I think it's called, I'm not sure. I reread this one recently because I was kind of craving some dystopian and it ticked all the boxes. I really enjoyed it. I love the main character in this, but it's not one that I want to reread or keep on my shelf because I don't think it's going to be my all-time favourite trilogy. I'm going to reread the second book as well and then finally read the third book for the first time, and then I'm going to decide whether or not I want to keep this, but it's a strong likelihood I'm just going to get rid of it because yeah, it's not my favourite, although I do really love the spine. The spine would look really good on my shelf actually, so I don't know, I'm reconsidering. Next we have Raybearer. This one is one that I read for the Space Sirens book club back last year when it first came out, and I really enjoyed it. I gave this one 4 stars. It's a really good YA fantasy series that's kind of bordering towards new adult I think, in terms of the sort of vibes. Really enjoyed it. It's just not one that I want to reread. I'm going to read the sequel though because I think I'm going to really enjoy that. It's just not an all-time favourite, so again, I'm not keeping it on my shelf because it's taking up space and I need that for any S.H. Chakraborty book that comes out in the future. We also have The Good Luck Girls, which I gave 3.5 stars I think. Again, this is a good book. It's an interesting sort of fantasy dystopian feeling world. Again, there's a sequel coming out that I do want to read. I think it might already be out now or it's coming out very soon, and I do want to check that out, but I have recapped this. It's not an all-time favourite, so I don't need to hang on to it. Then we have 2 Taylor Jenkins Reid books. There's Maybe in Another Life and One True Loves. So I read these as part of my Taylor Jenkins Reid project, in which I was trying to figure out which book I thought was best of hers. Spoiler alert, I chose Daisy Jones and the Six, but I will leave that linked up above and down below if you want to check it out. I didn't love these. One True Loves, for one thing, just stressed me out, so I need to get rid of this because the idea of it stresses me. I did like Maybe in Another Life. I liked One True Loves as well, but I preferred Maybe in Another Life. It was very good, but again, I don't think I'm going to reread it because the concept stressed me out a lot. It's not the kind of romance book that I really signed up for, and I think Taylor Jenkins Reid is much better at historical fiction, so yeah, I don't really want to keep this. It's going in my little free library or to the library or on a Facebook group or something. Then we have The Boneshard Daughter. I liked this one. I know Judith is about to unsubscribe from me, but I didn't love it. Again, it's not one that I feel the need to hang on to because it's not an all-time favourite, I'm sorry, but it was good. I liked it. I liked the animal companion. I liked the sailing about, that was good, and I like the concept. I'm very much looking forward to the sequel actually, but again, not an all-time favourite. I don't want it taking up space on my shelf in case I find other stuff that's better. I'm sorry. Haunted by Kelly Armstrong. This one is one of the Women of the Otherworld books. I didn't like this one. This is about Eve and she's not my favourite character. I find that these books get a bit repetitive if you read them too quickly one after the other, so I've taken a break now in order to not feel the repetition. But I'm not keeping any of them because after this reread slash first time reading through the series, it's not going to be a series that I go back to ever. I don't think so. I'm getting rid of this one and also the others in the series once I've recapped them. And then finally we have The Firekeepers Daughter in this lovely hardback, which I'm a bit sad about getting rid of because again, it was expensive. It was £13. Again, it's not an all-time favourite. I don't think I'm going to reread this, so I'm gonna unhaul it and give it to someone who's going to love it and really enjoy it as much as I did. I do have the audiobook of this one actually, and I think I preferred listening to the audiobook, so obviously if I want to read it again, which I might do because it was very kind of involved and intense, I will definitely be listening to the audiobook. It's just I don't really want to keep the hardcover again on my shelf taking up space because I don't have massive bookshelves yet. And that's it, that's my medium-sized book unhaul. I know I said I was changed my mind about some of these as I was going through them, but now that I'm not talking about them, I haven't actually changed my mind, so I will be getting rid of these and they will be going to good homes. I don't actually feel too bad getting rid of books, to be honest, because I know that they're not being thrown away, they're going to be appreciated by other people, and I like kind of spreading the love as well in my community, so it's a good thing. I like unhauling. Thank you so much for watching this video. Let me know if there are any books you've unhauled recently, or if you would like to try to change my mind about unhauling some of these, please do, but I've read them all, so I already know what to expect. I don't really like unhauling books that I haven't read yet because there's always a chance that I might really like them, but ones I have read I'm fine to just, you know, kick to the curb, I suppose. Thank you again for watching, and I'll speak to you all in my next video. Bye!